Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me.
Yeah. What are your symptoms? Are you coughing? Are you sneezing?
Sneezing, just sneezing.
Sneezing.
Yeah, without cough and without high temperature.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And how do you feel? Like, does your head hurt, or does anything hurt? Maybe.
No, it's just in the morning. At the morning, a little bit headache, little
You-
bit.
Yeah. And you were right the first time. It's actually in the morning.
In the morning, yeah, in the morning. I take the Panadol, so I feel okay, Alhamdulillah.
Right. Yeah. It helped you out. Well, that's good to hear.
But I am surprised in Sunday, just me, nobody. But in the Tuesday, Wednesday, I think Ibrahim and other, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's engaging in the attending the class.
Yeah. There were some other people.
Yeah, but Sunday, just me. Monday.
Monday. Yeah. Yeah. I see. I don't know. Well, hopefully other students will join. Yeah. But I'm glad you're here. Um, yes. So I think you were here during our previous class too on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, just maybe 20 or 25 minutes. Not all.
Mhm. So do you remember when we talked about present perfect continuous tense? Do you remember like how to use this? Or should we review
Yes,
quickly? Yeah.
yes, but I think I I said that I have to practice to more,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
يعني, unfortunately I didn't practice because I have no time
We'll
during
practice
the day.
together. This is actually another exercise. This is yeah, the last class on Wednesday we did verb tense exercise 7. This one is number 8, and it's the same two verb tenses: present perfect and present perfect continuous. See, Siba has joined us. Hello, Siba.
Yes, how are you, teacher?
Doing well?
Sorry, I'm late because I'm in the hospital, but I found a place to hear
Oh,
uh,
sorry
the
to hear
class.
that. I hope everything's okay.
I don't know. I will check right now.
Are you in the hospital like because you're sick, or are you hurt?
Yeah, because I'm sick. But I don't know. I'm waiting now, the doctor,
Sure.
and I will see what he will say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I see. Well, if you need to leave, just let us know, or you can just turn off your microphone and go. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problems.
thank you, teacher.
I
How are
hope
you, Siva?
whatever
Are
it
you
is.
okay?
Ah,
I think everybody had sick because change weather now,
Mm,
end of the.
no, it's about something about my diabetic. It's not about the weather.
so you're
Ah,
right. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. Good luck, Siba.
Mm.
Yeah. So, so last time, I guess we should just go back and review. Present perfect continuous was our new verb tense. Present perfect continuous. Yeah. So luckily, I think this one has a pretty easy explanation. When should we use it? There's like maybe two different ways we can use it. One is with an action that started in the past and continued until now. Started. Yeah. So maybe I'll write an example down here. I have been waiting for the bus for 20 minutes. Like that. So I just want to remind you.
Until now.
That's right. I started waiting 20 minutes ago and I'm still waiting now. Yeah. And we always say have or has, been, and then the verb plus ing. So it's always has or have been, and then ing. By the way, we use for for a period of time. And we use since for what? Can anyone remember? Like, can someone finish my sentence here? I have been waiting for the bus since what?
Since 1 hour.
Well, that's a period of time, so we would say for 1 hour. But since we have to use a starting time.
Since 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So I started waiting at 8 o'clock and I'm still waiting now. Yes. Since 8 o'clock. And I'll write this down.
Or morning. I waiting you arrived. I have been waiting you arrived.
Waiting for you.
Yeah, for you. Since morning.
You could say since the morning. Yeah, since Monday. It could, yeah, it doesn't have to be a time. It could be a day or a time of day, like the morning. Yeah, since Tuesday, anything like that. Or
Okay.
or is for a period of time, right? For 1 hour, for 20 minutes, for 7 years. Since start time. So that's just use one for present perfect continuous. There's also a second use though. Here, this is a bit simpler. We can just say recently or lately. Whenever you, like when you started a habit or started doing something in the recent past, we could say recently or lately.
يعني just finish before we start at that moment.
Actually, not exactly. Not that you just finished. When you say recently or lately, it's like a new it's like a new habit, a new repeated activity. So it's a bit different. Like I have been going to the gym recently.
Okay.
Or I have been going to the gym lately. It means I started doing this like repeated activity, right? Because I go once a week or maybe 3 times a week, whatever. But I have been going to the gym lately.
I have been living in New York recently.
Good. Yes. Yeah, it means in the near past, you moved there. Yeah, so basically that's present perfect continuous. All right. So I just want to remind you here, there's 2 choices for the verbs, either present perfect, as it says at the top, or present perfect continuous. And Ibrahim will give you number 1.
Judy, how long in Canada? Present perfect and present perfect continuous. How long you
And it's a question, so we should.
Yeah. How long having been, or how long you
Yeah,
in
you.
Canada?
So almost. We should say. Usually, like if we make a sentence, we say you have been.
Uh-huh.
Have been. But it's a question, so what should we change it to? Have you been?
Have you been in Canada? Mhm.
Yeah. And what's the answer?
Yes, teacher, can I take number 2?
Yes, but let's let Ibrahim finish the first one.
This is the first
I,
sentence. I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
No, that's okay. It's like a
I,
conversation between. Yeah. So go ahead, finish up, Ibrahim.
I have been studying here for more than 3 years.
That's right. Have been studying here because we see 4. It means a period of time. I started studying here 3 years ago. I'm still studying now. Now, Ibrahim, why didn't you say, how long have you been being in Canada? You were correct the first time, but why is that wrong?
Because this question, not.
It's not that it's a question, but being is one of those non-continuous verbs. Remember that? Being can't have ing after it. So whenever we see one of those verbs that can't have ing after it, then we just use regular present perfect tense. Because the question is, how long when did you start being in Canada? Okay, you're still here now, so like when did you start living here? If we had used a different verb, we could have said, how long have you been living in Canada, for example? But with be, that's a non-continuous verb, meaning it doesn't take ing. So that's why. Yeah, like remember this, Ibrahim? I am having this car is incorrect. We just say I have this car.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's a non-continuous verb. So be is another one of those. Okay. Yes, Siba, please. Number 2.
Yes, teacher. I have been having the same car for more than 10 years. I'm thinking about buying a new one.
Well, have is another one of those. Didn't I just give that example? Yeah, I gave an example with the car and have. If it's present, if we have a car right now in the present, we don't say I am having this car. We just say I have this car because have is non-continuous. And it's the same thing here. We can't say I have been having. We have to change it just to present perfect tense. So try it, Siba.
Okay. So I have
And what is verb 3 for have? What is verb 3 for have? Because that's our verb. Had. That's it. I have had. And that's all. I have had the same car for more than 10 years. Yes. Okay. Ibrahim, number 3.
I have been loving chocolate since I was child. You might even call me a chocoholic.
Ibrahim, do people say
No,
I love you or
it's
I
the
am
same.
loving you?
Yeah, I think it's same.
Yeah.
On it should be I have been loved.
I have loved. That's it. Not I have been loved. I have loved.
Mhm.
Yeah. So far, numbers 1, 2, and 3, they all had non-continuous verbs. So they're really testing you here to see if you understand which verbs are non-continuous. Yeah. If you ever get confused about love, just think, do people say I love you or I am loving you? Of course, everyone says I love you. Okay. So number 4, Siba.
Matt and Sarah have had some difficulties in their relationship lately. No, yeah. So they have been going to a marriage consultant.
Counselor.
Teacher, you are sick also.
I occasionally cough. I'm basically over the cold. I got better. I don't have a temperature, but when I
Yeah.
finish getting a cold, I always cough for several days afterwards. Yeah. So I don't really feel sick anymore, but I still cough like that. I don't know why.
Thanks God you got better.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yes. Let's go to number 5, Ibrahim.
John has been working for the government since he graduate from Harvard University. Until recently, he has enjoying his work, but now he is thinking about retiring.
He has enjoying his work. Just he has enjoyed. Has enjoyed.
Good.
Enjoy. This is another non-continuous verb. People just say like, again, if you get confused, think about it in the present continuous tense. Like people say, I enjoy this, right? They don't say I am enjoying. So same thing here, not has been enjoying, but has enjoyed. Okay.
Okay.
And 6, Siba.
Lately, I have been thinking about changing my career because I became I have no, not have. I don't know.
Well, it's either I have become or I have
I
been
have become.
becoming. What do you think?
No, uh not have been become.
Yeah, it's not have been becoming. It's have
Yeah,
become.
have become this stage. What is it?
Dissatisfied.
This dissatisfied with the conditions at my company. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Similar. Well, I hope everything works out for you and get out.
Yeah, lately that's why. Teacher, I want to ask you, are you sure that number 4 that I did it, it's correct?
Let's take a look. Matt and Sarah have had some difficulty. So number 4?
Yeah, because there is lately in the end of the first sentence, but we
Yeah,
can't said having. That's why I choose have had.
have had some difficulties lately. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. That's right. It is lately, and usually Usually we say,
Should lately be in the first of the sentence?
oh no, lately doesn't have to be in the beginning. It can come in the beginning or at the end. That part doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's correct.
So it's correct. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And where are we? I think at Ibrahim, number 7.
Okay. I have been seeing Judy for more than 5 years, and during that time, I have so
Actually seen for 3 years.
I've been seeing many change in her personality.
Not have been seen, just have seen.
I've seen, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's during that time I noticed change over time. Whenever we have change over time, we use present perfect tense.
Mhm.
Seen. Okay. That's good, everybody. So let's just send that.
I'm sorry, Brahim, you're also sick?
Ibrahim, are you also sick?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry because in the beginning you said I think we all sick. Then I was annoyed of the nurse because she make me wait for a long time and I I just ignored what you said. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's sweet of you.
It's
I'm
fine.
so
It's
sorry.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, Ibrahim said that he's a little sick today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's since last week my heartbeat go raise and I don't know what's happened and I go to do some lab tests. Then I want to see the doctor to give me a medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That's why,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
I'm waiting from Wednesday.
wow, I have been waiting. You could use present
I
perfect
have been
continuous too.
waiting
I have been
since Thursday, Wednesday. I have been waiting.
waiting. Yes, I have been waiting since Wednesday.
Yeah, that's why I was angry because I told her just it's a medicine. He will write a medicine. He will not
Right.
check up me and she said no, you have to wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I see. So they thought you needed a checkup, but you don't.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to my body.
Yeah. Well, I hope you feel better. It sounds serious. If your heart has
Inshallah.
been racing. All right. Well, last time we started this article, but we did not read the
And
definition.
teacher now Ibrahim Siyufi, he sent me an email. He said he's so sorry because he's on vacation this week, so he can't attend.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks for telling us.
Yeah.
Didn't know. Well, so I'd like to start today by reading this definition of consumerism, and then we will read the article about Black Friday. By the way, did anybody go shopping on Black Friday? Did anybody get any good sales?
It didn't finish here in Jeddah yet. I don't know if I feel better. Of course, I will go shopping. Who don't want to go shopping?
Who doesn't want
Especially in
deals,
Paris.
right? Yeah. So you haven't, but you will still.
You know, this is tricky, teacher, because you will buy things you don't need it, but because there is a big sale.
Yes, and now more easy because you can shopping online.
Yes, and I feel angry because I don't know if you do you want that website Sun and Sons, teacher? I think it's global.
Sun and Sons?
Yeah, it's for sports equipment.
Oh, no, I don't know that one. Sun and sun.
Okay, there is something funny happened that before in single day they said there is discount, and I bought a shoes, Nike shoes for 835 real. Okay,
Mm.
then now in the Black Friday they make it 479 real, and I feel that I have a heart attack.
Okay, a big difference.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want to kill them, to be honest. I
yeah.
don't know. It's okay. I buy it anyway. I bought it anyway.
You bought it anyway. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing sometimes, these deals. Yeah. Well, our article is actually, you mentioned it's easy to buy things you don't need. Our article here is called Stop Buying Things You Don't Need.
Ah,
Yeah. So,
that's especially for women.
so first we have to read this definition of consumerism. Siba, can you read for us, starting in this blue box?
Time. Consumer. What's
Consumerism, like that. Consumerism.
consumerism is a social and
Economic.
economic order and
Ideology.
ideology that encourages the acquisition
Acquisition.
of goods and service in ever in in
Increasing.
increasing amounts.
Yes. Right. So, consumerism. That's our key word here. Comes from the word consume, which means like to buy or to use. Yeah. And so in our own words, like what is consumerism? What are they trying to tell us here?
It's like
I have no idea.
No idea?
No idea. Something psychology?
more consume the goods.
Goods. What do they mean by goods? Let's use our own words. So let's start actually. So it encourages. Is it clear what encourage mean? Like if I encourage someone,
Yeah, encourage. Yeah,
that's
it's
clear, right?
something to make something be able to do something.
Okay. So yeah, encourage.
Like in football team, we encourage our team in a football.
Yes.
Sharing.
To support something, to tell someone to
Support,
do
yeah, support.
something. That's to encourage. So consumerism encourages the acquisition. To acquire
Acquisition.
something.
To having something.
To get it. Yeah.
To get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
اقتناء.
It's this usually use it for the big company to acquisition small company.
That's right. Big companies acquire. Acquire is the verb.
Acquires.
So it encourages acquisition. That's the noun form. The acquisition of goods and services. Goods are, what's another word for goods? Products. Things.
Products, yeah, products.
Yeah. So it encourages getting products and services in ever increasing amounts. What about this last part? Ever increasing. By ever increasing amounts, they mean more and more.
Yeah.
When people continue to buy more and more stuff. So again, consumerism supports getting products and services in larger and larger amounts. It's consumerism. So hopefully that makes sense. And Siba, can you Continue reading,
Teacher,
Chris. Here.
you mean
Yes, please.
amount is a price they mean, or
No, it's the acquisition. You get more and more goods and services. You buy more and more stuff. That's what consumerism is.
okay.
It supports buying more things.
Yeah, rather than
Yes,
you
I get
buy just one piece from something with 50 riyals, you buy maybe 4 or 5, 200 riyals.
Mhm.
Yeah, I understand now.
Yeah.
So we are lucky to live in a world where we can purchase so many items. Since the start of the Industrial Revolution, millions upon millions of new items have become available to
Consumers.
consumers. With the introduction of the department store and shopping mall, consumers,
Consumer, just consumer.
consumers,
Yeah, consumer.
consumers have been able to purchase thousands of items in the same location. For the first time in history, many consumers can buy a lot of things at inexpensive price.
Yes.
Can you think any
Disadvantages.
disadvantages associated with consumers?
Consumerism.
Consumers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost your money.
Always.
Again, Ibrahim, I didn't hear.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
You lost your money.
Oh, you lose your money. Right.
This big disadvantage.
That's a big disadvantage. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I've read this article, so I kind of know what it's about, but it will talk about some disadvantages of consumerism. Yeah. Are there any other negative consequences about like when buying more stuff?
Yeah, you will buy things you don't need it.
And what's the problem with that if you don't need something?
Maybe you will not have space for the things.
Sure,
Like
you will not have space.
and the other things that you will waste your money, and you will feel that you are under pressure. I don't know. It's for me. I feel that I'm under pressure, that I want to buy things, but sometimes I don't have money to buy these things, especially on the last days in the months. We will wait for our salary, and
Right.
maybe I will borrow some money from somebody to buy things. I will feel that I'm under pressure.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Makes sense.
And sometimes you get this as habit without you know or feeling about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just when you see that Black Friday discount sales,
Right.
you
Yeah.
directly go to and buy.
Before in my previous house, I was having a special room just for me, just for my clothes and shoes and bags.
Sure. So it takes up a lot of space. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of things. Then my sister, she told me that I think, Sabah, you have something psychology. You feel lonely because you buy all of these things. I don't know.
And what do you think? Do you agree with her?
Sometimes yes, because I have been living with my parents alone since 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
and
For
I miss
7
my
years.
brothers and my sister.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe you miss them and you do this to make yourself
Yeah,
feel
I
better or
think
something.
she
Yeah,
she's
some people
true.
do that. Yeah. Well, so let's get started. I think we read this section last time, but maybe I'll read this. I think Ibrahim and I read this last week, right? Right, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll read it one more time, just for Siba's sake, and then we will continue. By the way, I think this reading is a little bit difficult. It's one of the harder ones here, so I just encourage you to try to focus more. And if you have any questions, let us know. It's 4:57 in the morning. In front of the large glass doors of a major department store, an increasingly large crowd of people is gathering. Dressed in warm clothing to combat the frigid winter weather, hundreds of people wait patiently, chatting among themselves. In the semi-darkness and cold, they are visibly excited. The doors are about to open. In the following 24 hours, shoppers will spend $50 billion in the United States alone. Almost a quarter of this amount will be spent on electronic items, such as smartphones, tablets, computers, and other gadgets that compete with our digital obsession. This uncontrolled shopping frenzy, ironically known as Black Friday, is making us blind to the environmental and societal impacts of consumerism. Okay, yeah, I think last time our vocabulary was gadgets. I wrote this down. Yeah, a gadget is a small electronic device. Combat means to fight. So we definitely read this page last time. Okay, my main question for you is, what is the author's main argument in this essay? What is their thesis statement, if you've ever heard that word before? What is their main argument?
Um, I think that the people are waiting in a bad weather, and
Sure, but that's just the description, right? That's the description
You,
he
you
gives.
mean what he is advised or what he
What
want
is
to leave
his
you?
opinion? What is this author's opinion about consumerism?
that we spend a lot of money of we can use the money for another things. It will be
Uh,
more um, more important
he does say
or
that
more
And
valuable to
and
us.
that habit, it's globally.
it's global.
Mm.
Yeah, really, it comes at the end. The last sentence is like his main opinion or main argument in this essay. It's making people blind or making them unaware of
Mm.
the environmental problems and social problems. And so these are the two things that he's going to write about in the essay: environmental and societal problems. Problems with nature and problems with people. Yeah, will be his focus.
Mhm.
Okay, let's try to answer some of these questions about how they wrote it. Number one, why do you think the author starts the text with a description of people waiting in the cold?
To take us or to make us feel that atmosphere, how it's look like.
Okay, to make us feel like we're there. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people die in Black Friday.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Mm.
There's people even die. I think it also shows that they really, really care about getting these discounts. Yeah, they like, you know, because it's cold, it's early in the morning, and they are still shopping. So they take it very seriously. Okay. Well, let's go to part 2. Ibrahim, can you read for us, please?
Okay. Our obsession with technology is making us blind to the devastating effects the consumerism has on the environment. When the department store entrance opens, the crowd will surge forward and rush to grab the latest smartphone or whichever electronic item is on sale. The marketing department of retailers everywhere will have spent millions on advertising. Yeah. On advertising that promises us a better life, if would only purchase the item on sale. However, our compulsion to buy is costing us the earth. Most electronic items today are either impossible to repair or will become obsolete. Without thinking, shoppers purchase items that will end up discarded in landfill in short space of time. Across the planet, we dispose of up to 50 million tons of e-waste each year.
Yeah.
And this environment issue impact.
Yeah, this whole paragraph, you're right, is about the environment. So it's a problem because it creates trash, creates garbage.
Yeah, more than 1 million ton.
Right. That's right. That's right.
And I think some of area they haven't used a right way to obsolete or crash this item and don't reuse it again.
Right. Yeah. So the problem is what? It's either impossible to repair. Yeah. So if it breaks, you can't fix many items, or they become obsolete very quickly. They become out of date. That's what obsolete means, by the way, out of date. Yeah. How do electronics become obsolete quickly?
Because they use maybe cheap
materials, maybe.
Cheap materials, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And to be honest, teacher, if you buy a phone, something like Samsung, okay, I had before I think Samsung Plus Samsung 6 or Plus 6, something like that, and until 10 there is no different. Just a new version, and you know, here people just want the newest one in the mall.
Right.
or in the market. Yeah. So they just waste their money.
Right.
And I think it's the same for iPhone. Maybe the last 2 version of iPhone, they have something changed in the iPhone.
Yeah.
But before, there is no difference between the version.
True.
Yeah, but sometimes they make as they don't give you chance to update some program.
Yeah. I'm not using iPhone, by the way, but I'm using Samsung. I'm a fan of Samsung. But I think something about your what we called in English, your social or your value in the social life.
Okay, your values in
You
social
will
life.
have
Sure.
the newest one.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It's
because if the electronic items didn't obsolete, they put ceiling life for the software.
yeah.
Yeah, they make your value about what you have.
Yeah, and that's we could say to become obsolete. Yeah, to become
Yeah.
obsolete. So yeah, they could use sheet materials. They could maybe not give updates to the software. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of ways things become obsolete quickly. True, and like Siba said, sometimes people just have a compulsion. I kind of showed that word earlier, right here. It's like a compulsion. It's like an urge that you can't stop to buy new things. So if they say a new model, they might just buy it without thinking, even if their old one is fine, or even if it's similar to the old one. True, true. Okay. And Siba, can you continue on the next page?
Oh, okay. It seems a new word. طيب.
Or should we save this
Title?
for next time? Should we maybe save the rest of the essay if it's getting a bit late? Yeah,
I
maybe.
don't know. If you want, teacher, I don't know. What do you think, Ibrahim?
I think let's save it. Yeah, because
I
we have
think
to
just
finish at
fast
55.
reading within 4 minutes. It's okay.
I want to ask you because we do have to finish at 55. I want to ask you what music technologies are now obsolete? Music technologies. Let's think a bit older. About some older technologies. Maybe you used as children or your parents used.
I don't know. Maybe the guitar, teacher? Electronic guitar?
Well, that's for like making music, but like for listening to music, I'm thinking. What ways of listening to music are obsolete? What about cassettes? Cassette tapes.
What is this, teacher?
Cassettes and cartridge.
Cassette. Okay. Yeah, I know it.
You know them, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know it. Yeah. I born in 1985, so I know it, of course.
You know them. Yeah. Cassettes. What else? What else is obsolete for music?
Maybe the DVD.
Yeah, or CDs for music.
CDs, DVDs.
Yeah. CDs. Okay. Maybe
Would
even
you
record.
like to have stereo?
What kind of stereo?
I don't know. Maybe something too much old. I think it's stereo. I think We can record on it, and we have
Mhm.
2 doors to put cassettes, and we can also sing on it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, like
We was children, we use that.
sure, those stereo, yes, those big stereos. Sometimes they would even play records like we see in these pictures. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, we will
And
continue.
my grandfather have that old machine. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like this on the right.
Record player. Yes,
Yeah,
a record player.
it was much old.
Much older.
Yeah,
Wow.
but older than this.
Sure. Amazing. Yeah. So these are obsolete technologies. All right. Well, we'll finish here. We'll continue this topic next time. Very interesting. So yeah,
Okay.
I hope everyone
Can
feels
I
better. Yes,
suggest you
please.
something, teacher?
Yes, please.
Yeah, there is a serial. It's too much nice on Netflix. It's called House of Cards.
Okay.
You have to see it. It's something about the White House and Congress and these things.
Sure. Yeah, I'll check it out. We'll check it out. Thanks for recommending it.
I know that you are interested about these things.
Okay, perfect.
And if you want, Ibrahim, it's something interesting.
What's it called? What's the name?
House of Cards
House
on
of
Netflix.
Cards.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, Siba.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. All right, everyone. Take care. I hope
See you
everyone feels better.
next
Yeah.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed.